Hello there, aspiring tennos. Don't worry, I have not forgotten. These two videos are in preparation of the main video. This is going to be an old school Syntexagon video where we learn how to make that sweet, succulent platinum. Ah, that's nice. This video serves two purposes. One, to tell you which pack yields the greatest amount of platinum on average. And two, hopefully give you an insight into if it's worth farming Arcanes actively. And this is specifically in response to Void Cascade. Normally, when I make one of these, I consult the official Warframe drop table, which yes, we actually know the drops of every enemy and of any game mode. So all we need is some high school probability math. If we look at the price of an item and then multiply that by the drop chance, we can then add up the adjusted values and voila, bon appetit. Problem is, there are no drop tables for Arcane Dissolution. I had to get a bit creative. First, I looked at the official drop rates of Eidolons, and then I divided each Eidolon by 1/3. And if I added up all of those, that would basically give me the drop chance. However, this would have taken a long time, and I have no way of knowing that this is actually how it works. I don't know that the drop rates of the Eidolons are the same as the drop rates of the Eidolon Arcane packs. So I caved and I spent 6,000 Vosfor testing this to find the rate. And it turns out that it was basically the same result. Resources well spent. Now that I had a basic idea of the distribution of drops between the rarities, I painstakingly went through Warframe.market to look at the prices of actual online sellers to get a fair representation of the value of each arcane. Now these numbers are not completely honest, and I'll get to why that is and how I compensated for it later. In the meanwhile, since we now have the prices and the drop rates, we can calculate the average value of each arcane pack. However, this is a bit of a process, so if you will indulge me for a minute or two. First up, we add up the maxed version of the common arcanes, the uncommon arcanes, the rare arcanes, and if applicable, the legendary arcanes separately. Then we divide the combined value of every rarity by the number of items in that rarity. And then we multiply the average of each rarity with the weighted drop chance we found earlier. However, each arcane pack drops just one arcane at a time, not maxed arcanes. So we must divide by 21 because it takes 21 arcanes to get a max rank arcane. Now, let's not forget that each arcane pack does drop 3 arcanes, so we must once again multiply by 3, and this will give us the final value of each pack. Since we know that each pack costs 200 Vosfor, we can divide the platinum in each pack by 200, and that tells us how much 1 Vosfor is worth in terms of platinum. And just for the sake of it, I also calculated the value of 10,000 Vosfor, since 0.039 is kind of tough to relate to unless you have a brain run on liquid math like I do. Now, let me make it very fucking clear that these numbers are dishonest. They were made in bad faith on purpose to prove a point. Do not watch these results and leave, because if you do, you will leave with a completely backwards understanding of the value of each pack. With that being said, the most valuable pack with this method was Fortuna at 0.092 platinum per Vosfor and 916 platinum for 10,000 Vosfor. The least valuable pack was Holdfast with 0.025 platinum per Vosfor and 253 platinum for 10,000 Vosfor. The most popular pack, that being the Eidolon pack, came in at 0.06 platinum per Vosfor and 599 platinum for 10,000 Vosfor, square in the middle. Let's take a look at why these rewards are so dishonest. It is not enough to look at the price, because these prices stop reflecting the actual amount you can expect to receive from an item if the volume of that item sold is extremely low. Why that is outside the scope of this video, but it basically has to do with the lack of competitive price lowering and the inability to sell certain items because they are that undesired. If we take a look at my spreadsheet, you will see these marks, which indicate these arcanes sells less than 8 copies a day, and in some cases way less than 8 copies a day, making them almost entirely unsellable, thusly not worth our time. Now, in the interest of appearing fair and unbiased, I will say that you do get some of the Vosfor back from the unwanted arcanes to draw from the pack. Now, if we look at the Engineer's work, I can conclude that you can expect to get back 50 Vosfor per pack. But to be honest, I'm being generous. In any case, we can then assume that each pack only cost 150. And thusly, we have the final result for each arcane pack. It turns out that Eidolon is the best, and it comes in at over 600 platinum for 10,000 Vosfor and just about 10 platinum per pack. On the other hand, the worst pack was the Austron, and it was 6 times worse than the second worst option, coming in at a whopping 0.003 platinum or 29.5 platinum for 10,000 Vosfor. Ouch, man, that really blows. Let's talk Void Cascade for a moment. 22 Vosfor is how much you will get from dissolving Saruman Arcanes. That is 1.5 platinum. And exactly what that means we'll discuss in the main video. I'll also quickly touch on buying arcanes for standing. If you're on Fortuna anyways to buy the valuable arcanes from Little Dog, then sure, pick up some Pax arcanes if you have some spare standing. At MR30, that is 3 arcanes, which is worth roughly 5 platinum after being melted down into Vosfor. However, I hardly think it's worth it to travel to Cetus for 4 to 5 platinum. And again, that is assuming that you are at least mastery rank 30. If you're only half of that, you'll only get half of the reward. Anyways, I hope this helped. I'll see you in the Obvalis. Spreadsheets are in the description.